Mike Davis is on with this here Article 3 project because, Mike, I actually had a question for you that I don't know that people are talking about right now, and it's something that we need to steer the gears back in with 49 days to the election. You've always told us that Trump's goal and his legal team's goal was to delay the cases out to the election, so delay it out beyond the election day. But I want to talk scenario time here. Tell me, and we know, of course, that his sentencing date still looms. What happens to President Trump if he does not win the election on the legal front?
So it's pretty stark. President Trump either goes back to the White House after November 5th, or he goes to Rikers Island. And that sounds like a doomsday scenario, but it's on track for that to happen. Judge Juan Merchan, this corrupt Democrat judge in New York, has his sentencing date set for late November. And make no mistake, if President Trump does not win the White House, Judge Merchan will send him to Rikers Island.
And what is the current date on that?
I think it was November 25th, somewhere in there. But
so
it's
just a few weeks after 3 weeks after the election.
Yeah, it's like November 25th or 26th, but it's the 26th, Tuesday the 26th, and think
exactly
about it this
3
way.
weeks.
Judge Juan Merchan, remember, he's corrupt, and I don't say that lightly as a lawyer. He is corrupt because his daughter, Lauren Merchan, is raising millions of dollars off of this unprecedented trial over which her father, Judge Juan Merchan, is presiding. He donated. He's donated. He's a Democrat donor, which is illegal under New York law to be a campaign donor. His daughter's raising money off of this case. She gets a percentage of that. She is a contractor for Kamala Harris's campaign, this Lauren Merchan. And this has been a rigged process from the start in New York with the Soros-funded Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who campaigned on getting Trump, Matthew Colangelo getting deployed from the number 3 office in the Biden-Kamala Justice Department. They brought these bogus charges against Trump for the non-crime of a businessman settling a nuisance claim and putting it in his private books as a legal expense. I don't know what else you would call it. I've been a lawyer for nearly 20 years, Jack. I don't know what you would call the settlement of a claim, a nuisance claim, other than a legal expense. And so I guess I've been committing felonies with my clients for almost 20 years by settling these claims and booking it as a legal expense in your books. But somehow this legal expense from 2017 somehow affected the 2016 election. And somehow these bookkeeping misdemeanors at best, they're not bookkeeping misdemeanors because a legal expense is a legal expense. Somehow they got transformed into 34 felony counts against Trump. And they didn't tell Trump what the legal allegations are during this trial. We still don't know the legal allegations. Even after the trial is over, you have a stacked jury that's 87% Democrat. You have these biased witnesses, these people who are serial liars, perjurers, disbarred attorney Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels, who's raising money, peddling her porn site, changed her story many times. This case is the biggest injustice I think you can imagine. If you're writing a law school exam, this New York case would be a law school exam. It's so comical, but the problem is it's not funny. It's reality. And the issue is, if Trump does not win the White House, Merchan will send Trump to Rikers Island.
So there you go, folks. 3 weeks after. And then can the Supreme Court, I mean, I'm sure they can get involved, but would this be something that you think would be carried out immediately? Or I guess it would then go as a question. I'm sure his legal team would obviously appeal this to the federal level. But again, that's going to take time because this is a state case.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope and pray that the Supreme Court would step in quickly and stay the execution of judgment, because there are so many reversible errors in this case. Again, we don't even know what the legal allegations are against Trump. You have so you don't have fair notice, you don't have due process for the criminal defendant. The bigger problem for Merchan and Bragg and Colangelo is they let in evidence that the Supreme Court just held in the presidential immunity decision in June that they can't let in. Evidence that's subject to presidential immunity. They let in evidence over Trump's objection, his conversations as the president of the United States with his deputy White House chief of staff for communications, Hope Hicks, and then Madeline, his deputy chief of staff for operations. Those are clearly subject to presidential immunity. That evidence was presented to the grand jury, was presented at trial to the jury. That is reversible error. On that ground alone, the Supreme Court would reverse this case. But that doesn't mean that Merchan will not send Trump to Rikers Island on Tuesday, November 26th, just to make a point. I mean, Lauren Merchan's livelihood could depend on that.
So there you go, folks. 3 weeks after the election, you've got the election, which, by the way, for those of us, by the way, I'm laughing because for those of us following media coverage, they're also telling us that we're not going to know the results on election day. The count is still going to be out in places like, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. So there could even be a case there, as crazy as it sounds, there could even be a case that they're still recounting or finding ballots in places like Pennsylvania as President Trump is put into handcuffs and hauled off to Rikers Island. We might not even know who the winner of the election is, and I guarantee you that is something that they would attempt to do if they have the ability to do so, if the election day does not come in with a decisive victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, are you going to put anything past these Democrats? They tried to bankrupt Trump, throw him in prison for the rest of his life, take him off the ballots. When they failed, they tried to destroy the Supreme Court that stopped them, the Republic ending tactics when it still looked like Trump was going to win. You had Kamala gut Joe Biden in a bloodless coup and throw out 14 million Democrat primary voters. A lot of democracy from the Democrats there. They want to throw Trump off the ballot, and they want to install Kamala Harris, who got 0 primary votes. And then they underfund Trump's Secret Service protection. Trump's career officials on his Secret Service detail have made many requests for beefed up protection. They deny this. They say, he's just a former president, like he's Jimmy Carter sitting around a nursing home instead of the leading presidential candidate. He almost gets his head blown off in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was by the grace of God, a millimeter and a millisecond saved his life. And then 2 months later, we have a sniper that's in the bushes at the president's golf club for 12 hours. And it just happens to be that the Secret Service see him with the rifle barrel and shoot at him to stop another assassination attempt. I mean, this is recklessness at best that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are, the way they're handling Trump's protection. I mean, it is criminal what they're doing.
Look, people need to get their heads in the game. I was on Jesse Kelly last night, and I said that I would love to hear if President Trump speaks to Elon Musk about personal security and also family security. He's got his son now going to a high-profile university up in New York City. Elon Musk is someone who's always taken security procedures and protocols very seriously for himself and his children, and I think that would be huge. Mike Davis, we're just about out of time. Where can people follow you, brother?
Article3project.org. You can donate there. You can take action there. The SAVE Act is the most important thing. Follow us on social media and check out our new Spanish-speaking ads.
The SAVE Act and Spanish-speaking ads. Fantastic work. Mike Davis letting us all know the stakes. Be right back. John Solomon joins us.